Welcome back to Alice Talks Football and welcome back to another news Manchester United show. Absolutely messed that up, meant to say welcome back to another Manchester United transfer news show, a January transfer news show. And will Manchester United be spending any money? I'm going to be talking about all the latest news regarding ins and outs at Manchester United at the moment. And if you aren't aware, it looks like Donny's the next player to leave. There's talks about HERRERA loan. There's talks about us in advance talks with KAMARA. Sky Sports has said it's a race between Man United, Roma and Leeds for KAMARA. And KAMARA wants Manchester United more than Roma and Leeds. Lots of different things that I'm going to be talking about in today's video, getting you into all the latest news that's going on right now. Any updates that come out while I'm live, I'll discuss while I'm live. Guys, please do smash a like on the video if you haven't already. Subscribe down below. Share this video and all of that. Lou Manu says, hi Alice, I will be going with Donny wherever he goes and cheer him on for the rest of his life. And you know what? I want Donny to play. I would love Donny to stay and play. If I had it my way, Donny would stay and play, but that isn't going to happen. And if Donny goes to Crystal Palace, I tell you this now, and I'll be watching a lot more Crystal Palace because I'll be watching to see how Donny does, see if he's good in the Premier League. I will be watching Crystal Palace to see how Donny does. And now Martial's gone to Sevilla. I hope Sevilla win La Liga. You know, I actually really happy. I really always want the loan players to do well. Like I loved watching Lingard at West Ham. I want to watch Donny do well at Palace. I want to watch Martial do well at Sevilla. Even though I don't really watch Spanish football, I'm now more interested in watching Sevilla. It's weird the effect Man United have on me because I will, like, if a Sevilla game's on the TV, I might not just dismiss it like I normally would. I might go, oh, I want to see how Martial's doing. Oh, if Palace are on the TV, even if they're playing Watford, I'm like, you know what, if that's on the TV, I'm going to watch it. I want to see how Donny does. You know, that's how I feel about that situation. Obviously, Donny to Palace isn't a done deal yet. It's Manchester United. Things can fall through. We mugged off Palace with Amad Diallo last summer. You know what Manchester United are like. But I want to quickly get into the Donny van de Beek story before I get into the other news. So please do smash a like, smash a subscribe, smash a share, as Andrew says. And he also said he hopes Donny gets his loan, does well, plays a lot of minutes, and hopefully the next manager actually use him at United. And the reason Manchester United will not sell Donny van de Beek, and the reason we're only letting Donny van de Beek go on loan, is because our next manager could be Erik ten Hag. And Erik ten Hag wants Donny van de Beek. Erik ten Hag would plan to use Donny van de Beek. So if we sold Donny van de Beek and caught ten Hag in the summer, everyone would be looking at us like, what the fuck? Ralf Rangnick has given Lingard and Martial the green light to go. Ralf Rangnick doesn't want to let Donny go, but if Donny doesn't want to be here, Ralf Rangnick will let Donny go. But the thing with Donny van de Beek is he can go on loan for 6 months, but we want him back in the summer because we go, he could be in the next manager's plans. He won't know all these plans. He's not in Rangnick's plans. But if we get Ten Hag, if we get Poch and Ten Hag are two managers that have actually praised Donny van de Beek. Poch, when Spurs were in the semi-final versus Ajax, talked about how Donny was so underrated and what Donny did. Ten Hag, who's the favourite, obviously worked with Donny. But so I'd absolutely love Donny to go to Crystal Palace on loan. But I'd love Donny to actually smash it and be brilliant at Crystal Palace on loan. I want Donny to go to Crystal Palace, but actually smash it, play well. And you know what? Make those boards, make the coaches, make the managers look like fools. I don't like, I just want Donny to prove all his doubts wrong. Look, Donny could go to Crystal Palace, be a flop, and maybe they were right. But I believe that Donny's a good player, and I want him to smash it. I want him to prove that they're wrong. I want Donny to prove, like all the coaches, that they're wrong and all of that. Alice, would you take Neves or Rice? I'd take them both, but I think that Rice is incredibly overpriced. For me, we need to get two midfielders in the summer. The way I see it is, if we get Ten Hag and Donny as a good loan, he'll probably stay. But the way I see it is Matic, Pogba, and Donny all going in the summer. So we need a CDM like a Tchouaméni, and then we need a box-to-box. Maybe like a De Jong, maybe a Neves, who's a bit more defensive, maybe a Basuma. But we need two midfielders in the summer. And I always say this about Declan Rice. That's 100 million. If you sign Declan Rice, you don't sign anyone else. We need two midfielders, potentially another striker as well. And we've let Alvarez go to Man City, and he was the one that Ralf Rangnick wanted to bring in. Potentially another fullback, depending on what the new manager wants. But I do like Declan Rice. And insanity, we do not spend this window with all the mids and players leaving in general. We don't. Yeah, this is what I want to talk about. It's absolutely mad. Before I get into the news, guys, isn't it absolutely mad that with all the midfielders available for cheap, KESSIE is available for 10 million, ZAKARIA is available for 6 million, KAMARA is available for 10 million, Bruno GUIMIRAES was available for around 30-something million. He's gone to Newcastle. There are so many midfielders around. So many midfielders around for good prices. And what do Manchester United need? A midfielder. What have Manchester United not got top four nailed on? We need a midfielder so we feel like we can get top four nailed on. We don't have one. We've got rid of Martial. We're getting rid of Donny. We're probably going to get rid of Lingard. We've freed up some room to bring a midfielder in. Now Manchester United have got to go and bring a midfielder in. We need to be taking advantage of the market because you know what? We have a very good opportunity to get a good midfielder in for very, very cheap. KAMARA, 10 million. KESSIE, 10 million. Why are we not all over it? We've let GUIMIRAES go to Newcastle. Why aren't we all over it? I was thinking this earlier. You know, in about 2 years, Newcastle could be above us. Newcastle could be the new City where we might go 10 seasons without finishing above Newcastle, like we're about to go 10 seasons without finishing above City. That is the way it's going because all the clubs around us are more ambitious. Before we know it, Newcastle will be above us. Villa will be above us. Villa are a better run club. You know, Manchester United, the worst run club in the Premier League. We just have the money. But teams like Newcastle, teams like Villa that are showing a bit of ambition, you know, they could kick Man United and Arsenal out the top 6 because we aren't showing the ambition that a lot of other clubs are showing. And that's why I absolutely hate our owners. They're an absolute disgrace how they're not looking like they haven't got a CDM. Now, obviously, we're looking around and all of that, but it's an absolute disgrace. As Paul says, guys, please do smash that like button if you are watching the video. Subscribe if you're new and all of that. Take a breath, Alice. Well, look, I can't take a breath till we sign a CDM, so... but honestly, let me talk about the news, though. I want to get into the news. Okay, so Donny van de Beek. What is going on with Donny van de Beek to Crystal Palace? What is the situation? Fabrizio Romano has said that talks are ongoing for Donny van de Beek to Crystal Palace on a straight loan. The salary coverage is now being discussed. Patrick Vieira is pushing for the move. Donny had offers from Valencia, Crystal Palace, and a couple of other clubs. Donny has chosen to go on Crystal Palace on loan. Vieira, who is a midfielder, a top Premier League midfielder, is pushing to get Donny van de Beek on loan. And now we are discussing the wage structure with Crystal Palace. I don't think we're going to ask for a loan-on fee for Donny. We didn't ask for a loan-on fee for Martial. I think let Donny go on loan. You've let Martial go. You've got to let Donny go. It's not fair to keep a player and not play him. Donny has every right to leave Manchester United because he spent 18 months, now, on that bench when the players in his position were particularly poor and he wasn't given the chance. So you know what? As much as I'd love Donny to stay, as much as I'd love Ralf Rangnick to start Donny, and I actually think we will need Donny. I generally believe in 2 months' time, if Donny's smashing it at Crystal Palace and our midfield is shit, we'll be saying it going, wish we kept Donny. Because we will be, maybe. We might not be. He might be shit. And I might look like a mug and go, you know what? Maybe Donny wasn't good enough. But I want Donny to go to Crystal Palace. I want Donny to absolutely smash it. But I tell you one thing. I do not want to get rid of Donny, but I think we have to. For his career, it's not fair on here. It's not fair on Donny van de Beek. So I think Donny to Crystal Palace will happen, but it is Manchester United and we fuck over players a lot. Like, let's be real. We are literally messing Jesse Lingard about. And it's frustrating me because, look, I like Jesse Lingard. He's been at this club a while, but we are not treating Jesse Lingard well at all. We let Martial go without a loan fees. We're going to let Donny go without a loan fees. But we are absolutely milking the Saudi cash cow at Newcastle. I know that Newcastle said to us they valued Sean Longstaff at 50 million quid. So Man United have every right to tell Newcastle they value Jesse Lingard at 50 million quid. They have every right to do that. But what they don't have the right to do is mess around with Lingard. Because Lingard is a player for Manchester United that was playing brilliant at West Ham, got back in the England squad, redeemed his career. His career's back to shit now because Ollie told him he'd play and didn't play him. Because he's not playing now. And it's not fair. I know Lingard should probably just go for a permanent move and leave. And I know he wants that sign-on fee at the end of the season, a bit of extra money. But if you're it's not fair to mess Lingard about. 6 million loan fee for Lingard when we're going to lose him for free in the summer. Why don't we just accept it? United are holding out for a 12 million loan fee for Jesse Lingard. Accept the 6 million loan fee because he's going for nothing in the summer. You could have got 20 million from last summer. You kept him against his will. You didn't play him. You can now get 6 million for him now. You're going to keep him against his will and not play him. Why? Like, if you don't sell Lingard, you're going to get nothing. So why don't you just accept the 6 million loan fee and use that 6 million to get KAMARA, who's 10 million? You know, because when you think of the money you save with Lingard's wages, the money you save with Donny's wages, the money you save with Martial's wages, and the 6 million you get for Lingard, boom, 10 million, KAMARA. But Man United don't think like that. We treat players so badly. It infuriates me how Man United treat some of their players so badly. You know, we freeze out players. When players want to leave, we keep them against their will. We promise to play them. We don't play them. This is why we've got such a bad relationship with some of our players. This is why so many players have left Man United on a stale note. Because we'll keep players and not play them. We won't sell players we're not playing. Phil Jones has not played at all, barely in the last 2 years, but we won't sell him. You know, we won't sell Mata when we're not playing him. We're so greedy. We're like hoarders. We might as well be hoarders FC. Like, literally, you know when you watch the hoarders on the TV, you know, the people with the messy houses, and they have a newspaper from 1974 that they're never going to read again, but it's in their house. It's like Man United and Deadwood players. Well, you know, I've got all these players, but we're not going to use them, but, you know, we can't get rid of them just in case, It's absolutely pathetic. It does my head in. Noah's put in the chat, Alice, do you think Ronaldo will leave? If we don't get top 4, Ronaldo will leave. If we do get top 4, I think he will stay for another season. In regards to Ronaldo's situation, but I do not like the way we're treating Jesse Lingard. Jesse Lingard is very unhappy at Manchester United. He's very, very unhappy because he wants to go, and he feels like the club is messing him around, and he's got every right to do this. You know, Manchester United value Lingard 50 million and believe that we need 12 million for Newcastle to give him to Newcastle. That's absolutely ridiculous. Manchester United are asking Newcastle not only for 12 million pounds, but to pay the 2.5 million loan fees. So we're basically saying you can have Lingard for 6 months if you pay 15 million quid. You know, Newcastle, they probably want Lingard, but you know, this is taking the mick. They're not going to play him. Let him go. Also, guys, I think you might have seen this. This was on TikTok. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this, but there's a video where someone said Ralf Rangnick play Lingard, and he said, well, he's leaving in the summer. Ralf Rangnick said that Lingard was leaving, and apparently Lingard's really upset with Ralf Rangnick for that video circulating, that Ralf Rangnick's confirmed that Lingard's leaving in the summer. Now, look, I think Lingard is leaving in the summer. I get Lingard's upset that Ralf Rangnick's saying that because maybe Lingard's dream is to probably be playing for Man United and be given a new contract and get to play for us regularly. That is definitely Lingard's dream. That's not the case. But Lingard, you are leaving in the summer. Like, I wouldn't be that frustrated about it, but, you know, we all know he's leaving in the summer. And Ralf Rangnick basically confirmed that. But Chris Wheeler of the Daily Mirror said that a source close to Jesse Lingard said on Wednesday, it's pointless Jesse going into work not knowing that he's not going to feature. You know, and he makes a good point. Jesse Lingard, Donny van de Beek are two of the players that go to work every week, probably work really hard, but they know they're not going to get a chance. And that must be horrible. To be fair, like, that must be horrible. Yes, they're paid ridiculous money. Yes, they play for Manchester United. But I think Lingard and Donny could have been used more. They could have been utilised more this season. And I might have sympathy with Lingard and Donny van de Beek just because Ollie literally forced them to stay and promised he'd play them, and he didn't play them. And now Man United are holding them against their will. And that's where my sympathy for them really lies, if you know. But we are Hoarders FC, you know. It is what it is, isn't it, guys? But let me know your thoughts on the Jesse Lingard situation, because I do want to talk about Ander Herrera to Manchester United in a minute as well. And Andrew spoke about Kessie, saying Kessie especially, even if a pre-contract, lock him up, Pogba and Matic likely leaving. And yeah, this is the thing. Even if we don't want to buy Kessie now, why don't we get a free contract with Kessie so he joins Man United in the summer when he's a free agent? Because when you're losing Pogba, Matic and Donny, potentially 3 midfielders, you need to sign at least 2. So I think we should be getting Kessie on a free contract. We should be going for Chuchemini in the summer, and we should be looking to get someone else in now to replace the 3 midfielders that are likely leaving Manchester United. But when has Manchester United ever been that proactive, guys? No, never. So very unlikely that will be the case and all that. Noah said that, would you take Conor Gallagher from Crystal Palace? I like Conor Gallagher. I think he's a good player. He's obviously a Chelsea player on loan at Crystal Palace. But I wouldn't take him yet because he's only been playing at Crystal Palace for 1 season. But he probably is better than what we have. He is probably better than McFred and all of that. Kevin says that he hates to hear people talking, glorifying English players when the reality is that one average English player in United, Neves, is way better, and he is Basuma too. Look, I would rather have Neves and Basuma than a lot of the players in this Manchester United squad. But we are Brexit FC. You know what it is. And as Andrew says that, with Donny going to Crystal Palace, Vieira does play a good brand of football. They have a lot of good young players, and he's the best served staying in the Premier League. Good move for Van der Beek. Yeah, you know what? In terms of Donny leaving, I want him to go to Crystal Palace because 1, it's in the Premier League. 2, he's working with Vieira, that is a Palace midfielder. And I think 3, it's going to be, everyone's going to see what he's doing. And we have a good chance to see what he's doing as well. Do you think Man United will let Donny go to Palace? I think we will. I think Martial has kind of paved the way now. I think now Martial's gone and got his way. I think he will set that as an example for Donny to go, well, you've let Martial go. Can you let me go? You're not going to play me. Can you let me go? Maybe Bayer will do the same. Maybe Lingard will do the same and all of that. A lot of people putting empty out in the chat. It is funny how, Manchester City have to sell tickets for £10. Look, I always complain that football tickets are expensive as hell, but when you're meant to be a massive club and you can't sell tickets, so you list them up for a tenner. Manchester City, empty ad, small club, isn't it? Absolutely small club. Smash a like if Manchester's red. Smash a like if Manchester's red. Honestly. And Brontos says it's embarrassing how much Man United was willing to spend on another amateur on their bench, and yet how cheap right now we are. Yeah, literally, Donny van der Beek, we paid 40 million for him. We sat him on the bench, and now he's going out on loan to Crystal Palace. Manchester United, absolutely written all over it. And Daniel, who supports West Ham, wants Lingard to go to West Ham. Man United refused to sell Lingard to West Ham or Spurs because they're our top 4 rivals, which is sensible, but I think Lingard could go back to West Ham in the summer as well. And Andrew says that Rio Ferdinand was not treated well at the end of his time with us either. Was a last-minute end-of-season decision. He was being told he was not getting an extension. And look, it really annoys me how Manchester United treat some of their players so poorly. And Paul's put in the chat, Alice, I've missed the Herrera reviews, but definitely taken back. Let me get into the Ander Herrera news. But guys, would you take Herrera back at Manchester United? I know he's not a CDM, but I absolutely loved Ander Herrera. I think he's better defensively than Scott and Fred. I know he isn't the exact player we need, but he's a midfielder that is good enough to play in the Premier League. He is better than Scott and Fred. I would take Herrera. I know he's on the CDM, but I think he's better than what we have. I would take him back because I absolutely loved Herrera. He played for the badge. I know I know that's so corny, but he really did. Like, Herrera absolutely loves Manchester United, and there's rumours that he could come back to the Premier League on a 6-month loan. It came from Adam Crafton. So the Athletic, and Athletic's a very reliable source of information, spoke about how PSG mentioned Ander Herrera in letting him go out on loan or involving him in the swap deal for Tanguy and Mbele with Tottenham. But Ander Herrera said that he's happy at PSG and he'd only want to play for Manchester United in England. So it's come out from the Athletic that although PSG are open to selling Ander Herrera and open to giving Ander Herrera to Tottenham, Herrera said he'll only leave PSG to go back to Manchester United. And I do think, all right, we're not going to play Donny. How smart would it be? How smart would it be of Man United? Now, I'm just going to clarify. Man United are not smart. Man United are not going to do any smart deals. But if we're letting Donny go out on loan for 6 months, we might as well bring Herrera back on loan for 6 months. I would take Ander Herrera. He's not a CDM. We do need a CDM more. But Herrera plays over McFred for me. Herrera's a good player. When we had the Matic, Herrera, Pogba midfield 3, we played the best football we've played in the last 10 years as well. A lot of people say no to Herrera. Why would you say no to Herrera? The guy's saying no. Like, for me, obviously, if we can get a CDM, I take a CDM over Herrera. But I would take Herrera back. I absolutely love Ander Herrera and all of that. Andrew says, I know Herrera refused the Spurs move, apparently, out of respect to us. That's the last I read. And that is what I've just said. Yeah, Ander Herrera would not go to the Premier League unless it was Manchester United. And that was the same with Martial. The reason Martial's gone to Sevilla is because he couldn't play for another Premier League club that wasn't United. Ander Herrera's got the same energy. Couldn't play for another Premier League club that isn't United. And I absolutely respect that energy. Bronto says that Renato Sanchez is on the transfer market for 30 mil. He would work perfectly, connect with Bruno as a CDM. Look, I would take Renato Sanchez. But I still don't think Renato Sanchez is a brilliant player, but I think he's an improvement of what we have. There's obviously HERRERA available that Ralf Rangnick wants. Now, Ralf Rangnick is really trying to push the Manchester United board to sign HERRERA for RB Leipzig. It'll be 30 million euros to 25-ish million pounds. But the Man United board just don't seem to want to budge on a player like HERRERA. They think if Man United are going to buy someone in January, it's ZAKARIA for 6 million, it's Boubacar Kamara for 10 million. I can't, as much as I love United too, I can't see United going out there and spending a certain amount of money because, the Glazers, that is essentially, we are budget FC, we are let's not spend unless we get to FC, we won't spend money unless we're not going to get top 4 FC. Unfortunately, that is what Manchester United is. Guys, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe down below. Please do share the video if you are new as well. If you do want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates and more, make sure you smash on that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and all that. HERRERA is playing right now, Daniel says, and Anthony Martial deserves respect. Look, yeah, Anthony Martial definitely deserves respect. I do want to throw this out before I get into the next story, but look, I think it's quite funny how much Sevilla are bigging up the Martial news. I absolutely love Sevilla. I absolutely love signing Anthony Martial, and it makes me love it. You know how we milked the Ronaldo views to social media? Sevilla are absolutely milking the Martial views for social media, and I absolutely love it because I think with Martial, he is a confident. Martial's 2 brilliant seasons for Manchester United. Ollie made Martial feel like the main man. Ollie made Martial feel confident. Van Gaal made Martial feel like the main man. Van Gaal made Martial feel confident. He was the main striker under Ollie. That season he was brilliant. He was that main player under Van Gaal. That season he was brilliant. I generally think, and I know this sounds really arrogant, and you could say, oh, it's you know, Martial's arrogant, I don't know, but I really feel like if you make Martial feel like the main man, if you show Martial love, he'll be brilliant, because I know how good of a player Anthony Martial is. I mean, we all know how good of a player Anthony Martial is, but I think you have to show Anthony Martial like almost the love and respect he deserves. It's cringe as that sounds, because Martial's a confidence player. And, you know, when Martial's confident, he's brilliant. And I know how brilliant Martial is, and I'll absolutely be supporting Martial. AS Show said that Ralf Rangnick is the problem at Manchester United. Ralf Rangnick is not the problem at Manchester United. Actually, this is something I wanted to talk about, okay? Ralf Rangnick is getting rid of players that don't want to be here. Ralf Rangnick has said Jesse Lingard can go. It's now the board fucking it up, not letting Jesse Lingard go. Ralf Rangnick said, yeah, Donny van der Beek, I don't want him to go, but I'll let him get his loan move. Donny can go on loan. Ralf Rangnick said Martial can go. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wouldn't have let Martial go this January. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wouldn't have let Donny go this January. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wouldn't have let Lingard go this January, because Ole likes knowing he has the players there. Ralf Rangnick probably would like to have Donny there just in case McFred get injured. Ralf Rangnick would probably have to have Martial there on the bench as an option, because I think he did change the game versus West Ham. But Ralf Rangnick is willing to let Martial go. Ralf Rangnick's willing to let Donny go. Ralf Rangnick's thing is, you know what, this squad is too dense. Ralf Rangnick's like, this squad is too dense. We need to get people out of this squad. It's too dense. It's too dense. He's like, you know what, I'll let Donny go. I'll let Martial go. I'll let them go. And I respect Ralf Rangnick for doing that. I do, because, you know, he could use them. He could be selfish, but he's like, you know what, I'm trying to make the squad better for when the next manager comes in. The players that aren't playing, they can get loans. We need to make the squad less deep. We're playing a lot of wages. We've got a very, very dense squad. You know, it is what it is. And Andrew says that he thinks Martial will do well at Sevilla. It's a technical lead with space to operate on the ball, and he's an efficient technical player. Exactly. How are you guys feeling about Martial to Sevilla? I actually think he will do well, and I think Donny will do really well at Crystal Palace. Now, I do want to get into the KAMARA news, so let me share my screen with you guys and get the KAMARA news on my screen here. So this was sort of the first story that came out about Boubacar Kamara, and that Manchester United are the club advancing the most in talks to sign Kamara. AS Roma want to push again for him, but we know that Kamara actually rejected Roma. This is from a source called CDS, probably stands for Can't Do Signings, which is probably Man United's nickname. But they said that Man United are the club in the most advanced talks for Kamara. And then it came out from Sky that Manchester United are competing with Roma and Leeds to sign Kamara. And I will say this, if we lose to Roma or Leeds in the race for Kamara, that is embarrassing. Manchester United are bigger than Roma and Leeds put together. And now Roma and Leeds are big clubs, but no disrespect. United are levels. You know, we're levels. Kamara is available for 10 million. We're getting rid of Donny. We're getting rid of Lingard. We're getting rid of Martial. We're getting them off the wage bill. We're probably going to get a 6 million loan fees for Lingard. Put that in Kamara. Put that in the CDM, because Arsenal, there are no cup competitions. They're playing better than us. They could get top 4. Spurs, if they win their games in hand, they can get top 4. West Ham, they can get top 4. United don't look comfortable because we're getting dominated in midfield. So let's sign a CDM so we go, you know what, we can get top 4. Because if we don't get top 4, we won't get as much money. Ronaldo will leave. A lot of players will leave. We need to get top 4. We are United. We should be getting top 4. We should be nailed on top 4 and not have to worry about it. But we do, because the clubs around us are in the competitive space for top 4. And it's not on Ralf Rangnick if we don't get top 4. It's on the board. And they need to go out and sign a CDM. You know, the board need to go out and sign a CDM. The question is, will they? Now, Kamara is available. I hope we sign Kamara. I do believe that we could bring someone in, whether it's Herrera on loan for 6 months, whether it's Kamara. I think with it looking like Donny's going to go, with Donny on the verge of joining Crystal Palace, with Lingard probably going to get his move to Newcastle, because, you know, Lingard's not going to be happy if we force him to stay here. And with Martial already gone on loan, and that's 250k a week saved, why don't we go for Kamara? He is cheap. And I think, you know, that could be the case. Patricio says Neves won't be available to the summer, I don't think. And Kamara and Herrera will be perfect sons to United. I think this is Daniel. I would take them. Yeah. And Andrew said that Ollie did clear a good amount of deadwood out. I'll give him that. Fellaini, Smalling, Lukaku, Sanchez, Darwin, even let Dan James go. You do make a good point, but I think Ollie was holding a lot of players against their will in his final season and all of that. Yeah, but guys, please, first of all, smash a like on the video if you have not already. And subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new. Because if you do want to stay up to date of all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, and more, make sure you subscribe. Because obviously, you know, we've got 4 days left of the January transfer window. Well, technically 5 days, but 4 days basically. We've got 4 days left. And if you want to know if Man United are going to sign someone or not, make sure you subscribe. Because if we do make an advance move for someone, I will be live. Obviously, there's reports that we're making advance moves for KAMARA. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But if we do sign someone, if we do sell someone, of course, I'll be love to update you guys. And I think the next deal that's likely to happen for Manchester United will potentially be the outgoing of Donny van de Beek. I think that Palace move is going to go through. I don't want to say it's going to go through because it's United. Things can always fall at the end. But I have a feeling that the Palace deal will probably go through for Donny van de Beek. Now, I want to talk about another thing. And that is, I think that Donny will be good for Crystal Palace. I think that he will, Conor Gallagher's going to be good. I think he's Palace play a good brand of football, got a good manager, Premier League experience. I think the Martial will be really good for Sevilla, technical player and all that. And what I will say about the loan moves is I think we are sending players to the right club. Sometimes you get a loan move and you have not sent the player to maybe the best club. Now, talking about a player that I hope gets a loan move is Amad Diallo, because Amad Diallo, he feels like he's almost been kind of frozen out the Manchester United squad. It's one that got a bit quiet, and I think Amad Diallo is a brilliant player. And I want to see Amad Diallo potentially get a Premier League or a Championship loan. I was talking to him going to Birmingham. I'm not sure what the case with that is, but I'd like to see Amad Diallo get a loan. And a player that's looked really, really good at AFCON, Hannibal Mejbri for Tunisia. Again, he is a player I'd like to see go on loan or even given a chance in the Man United first team, if I was to be honest with you. SS6 says, the thing is, what will make the Glazers realise top four is the toughest task this season, and if they act in the next 5 days of the transfer window for a good midfielder, then it will be tougher. I just think the Glazers need to seriously look at the situation and go, all right, if Spurs win their game in hand, they're ahead of us. Arsenal are ahead of us in goal difference. We've still got to play some hard fixtures. If I was the Glazers, I'd go, you know what, top four is not safe enough for me. Top four is not safe enough at all for Manchester United. If I were the Glazers, I'd be going, you know what, we need to go out there and spend some money. We need to go out there and spend some money. Alice, do you think Greenwood is selfish? We'll talk about that comment in a second. I'm just going to grab my drink of water. We're disappearing from the stream. And we're back. Sorry, my mouth's gone really dry. Yes, he is. But I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing whatsoever. I think when you play as a winger, it's not good to be selfish. I think because he's playing as a winger and Ronaldo's the main striker, I think being selfish isn't a good trait to have right now. But I think, the thing is, if Greenwood was in the middle and Sancho was on the right, and let's say Martial was on the left, Greenwood could afford to be selfish. It would be good that Greenwood was selfish because Salah's selfish because he is Liverpool's main goal scorer. Ronaldo is selfish. Haaland is selfish because they are the main goal scorers. But it sounds weird, but every club can have one selfish player, but not two. That's how I feel. I don't think Ronaldo's a problem at Man United. I don't think Ronaldo makes us worse. But I don't think Greenwood and Ronaldo can play together because they want to be the top goal scorer. Greenwood's got an elite I think Greenwood's got a pretty elite mentality for his age. Salah can be selfish because he's Liverpool's main man. Ronaldo can be selfish because he's United's main man. Haaland can be selfish because he's Dortmund's main man. But Greenwood's playing on the wing because Ronaldo's in the centre because Ronaldo's the main man. And Greenwood being selfish, it's just not working. You've got to give the ball to the main man. That's what Sancho will do. So, in my opinion, I think that Greenwood's got a striker's instinct. I think if you're a striker, if you're a main man, we see it with Lewandowski as well. We see it with Salah. You can be selfish. But I think when you've already got Ronaldo that's selfish, you can't have 3 selfish attackers because then they're just going to wind up shooting. And that's what we've been doing. Rashford likes to go for glory. Greenwood likes to go for glory. Ronaldo likes to go for glory. It doesn't work. But if you had Martial, Ronaldo, and let's say Sancho, it's fine. Same with, Cavani, Greenwood, Sancho, that will work. Because they're not all glory. But yeah, I think that Greenwood is selfish, but I don't actually see it as a massively bad thing, if you want my honest opinion, with that. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on that, because I do want to say one thing about Mason Greenwood before I get to my next story. And I think that Greenwood gets a lot of hate at the moment, and I don't understand it. Like, Greenwood's been quite good this season. Yes, he's been selfish. Yes, his decision-making has been poor, but Greenwood's been decent. And I'm seeing Greenwood get quite a lot of hate and a little bit of abuse online. And I don't like it. I know I love Greenwood. I know I suck up to Greenwood a bit. But I do think, seriously, like, what has Greenwood really done wrong? Okay, yeah, he's been a bit selfish. But actually, you know what? You know, Greenwood doesn't work with Ronaldo. But if Greenwood was playing like that and we didn't have Ronaldo, you know, I just like that. I like having a bit of a greedy striker that's hungry to score goals. You know, I used to hate watching Man United back in the day where we'd almost want to pass it back in the goal. Not back in the Sir Alex days. I think it was not the Mourinho, it was the Van Gaal day when we were almost trying to pass it in the goal and we were awful. You know, I like that striker's instinct because that wins you games. At the end of the day, you players like Greenwood that are selfish will win you games, if you want my honest opinion. Now, talking of a player that is on loan from Manchester United, James Garner. And Andrew said, since there was nothing on, I watched James Garner play yesterday. He looks better each time I watch him. Now, Manchester United desperately need a CDM, guys. Could James Garner be the answer? I know he's championship. But would you guys give James Garner a chance next season, or do you think he should go back on loan in the Premier League? This is my opinion on James Garner. If we bring in Tchouaméni, let's give James Garner a Premier League loan. If we bring in someone like Tchouaméni, let's give James Garner a Premier League loan. But if Manchester United somehow managed not to get a good CDM in the summer, and it is Manchester United, you know what we're like, you know how inefficient we're like, I bring James Garner back. But for me, I would like to see James Garner on a Premier League loan. Right now, I would play James Garner over what we have right now because he's the only CDM we got. But, you know, he needs to continue his development of not Forest, all of that. I would want James Garner to get a Premier League loan. I really, really do want James Garner to get a Premier League loan and all of that. Blue Sky says, you know, 20 million Sakara and KAMARA bargain, 16 million as well. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we need both of them, but yeah, I think we should just be going for someone to get us to the end of the season. And there's so many bargains going on at the moment. At this point, Donny just wants to play. And Alice, why could we not get Brozovic 40 million in transfer market? One of the best defensive midfielders out there. Fantastic player, giving it all every day. I'd like to see him replace Matic. I'm not a big admirer of Brozovic, but he's probably better than what we have. And Winford said that they shouldn't have let Martial leave. Should have given him time to play and see how effective he was. Okay, let me talk about this. I want your guys' thoughts on Martial leaving. Personally, I would rather Martial stay and play than he leave. Because I think we need Martial. I think that Lingard. I think that Greenwood, Ronaldo, and Rashford don't work together. I've never thought that Greenwood, Ronaldo, and Rashford work together. I don't think our attack works together. I think that, you know, I think Martial's the glue that can link us all together. I think Sancho's now the only creative winger we have. I wouldn't have let Martial go. It was clear Martial's not in Ralf Rangnick's plans. It was clear Martial wanted to go. If the player wants to go and he's not in the original plans, you have to let him go because I think it's unfair on the player to keep him there against their will. And that's when dressing room rest is caused. So, yeah, my first choice would be we keep Martial, we keep Donny, and we start them in games, but we're not doing that. So I think letting them go is actually the right decision, in my opinion. What's Lingard's problem? Look, at the end of the day, Lingard got lied to, told he was going to play for Manchester United this season by Ollie. He's not played. We're not letting him go, holding against his will. I think we're being very, very unfair on Lingard. I think we are milking the Saudi cash cow, and I think that we should let Lingard go. What are my thoughts on Dybala? Good player, but we don't really need him at the moment. And yeah, and imagine if Donny leaves and destroys our midfield in the Premier League match against Palace. Well, he won't be able to play against us, but imagine, yeah. This will be a big joke on us. John wants to prove himself, and what better way to go against us? Well, Donny probably won't be allowed to play against Man United. But I'd love to see Donny go to Crystal Palace and absolutely smash it. If Donny goes to Palace, I'm sure a permanent player who has to step aside will be very upset, especially for a lone player. Maybe. But what I will say, one thing about Donny van de Beek going on loan that doesn't is, you know, we haven't used Donny. Okay, Paul Pogba's back after the break. When we come back to football, Paul Pogba's back. Paul Pogba's been out for months and we haven't used Donny. Paul Pogba's been out for absolutely months and we haven't used Donny. You know, when Paul Pogba's back, we're not going to use Donny. You know, Donny will be one player behind in the pecking order. I want Donny to go out on loan. As much as I love Donny, as much as I play Donny, I am desperate for Donny to go out on loan because I know when Paul Pogba's back, Donny ain't going to play. Like, if he's not playing when Paul Pogba's here, Donny's not going to play when Paul Pogba's back. So the way I see it is Donny out, we've got Pogba back, let's get another midfielder in to help with the defensive department. That's the way I see it. And I think Ralf Rangnick will play Pogba. I think he'd be stupid not to play Pogba, if you get what I mean. Thank you very much for the super chat. Mason needs to keep his head down and learn off Ronnie and Eddie before they leave. The kid got potential, but he needs to show that hunger to improve. That's a good comment. Now, I don't know if Greenwood was one of the players complaining about Ronaldo, criticising him, but there is reports that Greenwood doesn't have the best attitude towards Ronaldo, and I hope that's not true. We don't know if that's true. So, but I think with Eddie and Ronaldo there, it's a really good opportunity for Greenwood to learn. Absolutely, definitely. But what I do want to do is I want to share my screen with you guys, and I want to talk about how we could potentially line up after the January after the break. I keep going after the January transfer window and after the break. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you guys, because we're going to look at the potential outs and ins, and we're going to look at what Man United squad could look like at the end of the transfer window, I'm thinking. And I'm thinking, so the players that could come in are Herrera, ZAKARIA, and KAMARA. I think out of CDM, KAMARA is most likely. But if we look at the squad right now, what's Ralf Rangnick's first choice squad? So it'll be David De Gea. Okay, it will be Dello. I think Luke Shaw, when fit, will play over Tellers under Ralf Rangnick. I still think Luke Shaw's better than Tellers, but a lot of people don't like Luke Shaw. It will probably be Maguire, because he did have a good game and he is the captain. He is 80 million. But personally, I would play Lindelof and Varane. Now here it will be more something like this, wouldn't it? I think it will be probably McFred for Ralf Rangnick. We don't like saying that, but I think Ralf Rangnick's plan is a 4-3-3 with McFred. So probably Scott, probably Fred, and probably Scott in here. However, Paul Pogba will come back, and that is what we are going to discuss in a sec, with Bruno in the 10, because Bruno's been brilliant ever since we've gone to a 4-3-3. I think Sancho will be on the right, Ronaldo will be up top, and I think Rashford will probably end up being on the left, because, I can see Ralf Rangnick potentially doing something like this when football returns. However, we've got people to add. So there's no Donny, there's going to be no Martial, but what have we got to add to this? Okay, guys, that is the question. And I go, well, where's Pogba going here? Because we know that Pogba, Bruno, and Scott don't work. But could Pogba, Bruno, and Scott work under Ralf Rangnick? Because Scott and Fred were atrocious under Ollie. I'm not saying that Scott and Fred are brilliant, but they've improved under Ralf Rangnick. Ralf Rangnick, who absolutely loves Scotland, Tom and I, could, go, what, we're going to give Pogba a go. And Man United are going to play something like Fred, Pogba, Bruno. And that is my sort of ideal midfield three. I like this midfield three. Ralf Rangnick might manage to get Herrera. This is what Ralf Rangnick really wants to do. Ralf Rangnick really wants to get Herrera and play probably something like that. However, with Pogba unlikely to be here next season, Ralf Rangnick might just do, Pogba, I'm not going to give you that many minutes because you're going in the summer. You're going in the summer. Andrew says that I watched Kamara's 5 matches in a row last month. Hard to judge the player. He looks okay, but we need to see more of him. That's interesting because I haven't really watched Kamara. I'm very much like I'll take anyone, but we could see something like this at United. But good comment there from Andrew. I mean, look, guys, would you take Kamara at Manchester United? We could maybe do something Kamara, Pogba, Bruno. I still think when the break is over, it's going to be very much Fred, McTominay, and Bruno. I quite like Fred under Ralf Rangnick though, and I think McTominay is improving, but I think we still need a midfielder. Paulinho. I mean, I'd take Paulinho, but there's nothing going on with United. Paulinho. Shaw out, Tellers in. I prefer Luke Shaw to Tellers, and I think Rangnick does as well. This isn't my lineup, by the way. This is Ralf Rangnick's lineup. Like, if I was going to line up Man United, we'd be putting Lindelof in here, and we'd be putting freaking Donny in here, but Donny's leaving, so I'll put Pogba in here. I'll be putting Pogba in here, and then I'll probably be going with Greenwood in here. If it was my Man United lineup, I'll be doing something like this. But that's my lineup. It's going to be very, very different to Ralf Rangnick's lineup. Do you think Man United will try signing CDM with Pogba coming back as well? This is the thing with Man United. This is the thing. Man United like to find an excuse for anything. Man United will want to find any excuse, any reason possible to not spend any money. And I can see Man United coming out and saying, well, Paul Pogba's return is like a new signing. Like, I could generally see Man United coming out and saying, oh, the returning of Paul Pogba is like a new signing. Like, do you know what I mean? However, it has come out from Sky that Manchester United are the favourites to sign KAMARA. And there are a lot of news articles about us signing KAMARA. However, nothing from Fabrizio Romano. Unless Fabrizio Romano says something about Man United and talks to KAMARA, unless Fabrizio Romano says something that there's something going on advance between Man United and KAMARA, then I wouldn't get too excited. There are reports about United in discussion for KAMARA. United about to put a bid for KAMARA, but it's not come from the GOAT itself, Romano. It's not come from the Di Marzio. It's not come from the Athletic. And I think, with Kamara, there's news, but you have to wait and see what the Athletic says, Marcio says, Fabrizio Romano says, until you really know if something's going on. But I do think that United could use Pogba as an excuse not to sign anyone. And you know what? I do want to talk about something, because I saw someone say this on Twitter earlier. Ralf Rangnick didn't get a new manager bounce. You know, when a new manager comes in, they get like a bit of a bounce. The players play for them. Yeah, Ralf Rangnick didn't get a new manager bounce. Yeah, but remember this. Without even a new manager bounce, only Pep's got more points than Ralf Rangnick since he's come in. Ralf Rangnick's had to work with a very troubled Manchester United squad with a lot of attitude problems that didn't give him a new manager bounce. And we've got more points than Liverpool, Chelsea and Arsenal in that time. We've got, So I think, we've got to be positive about Rangnick. And I will say, if we don't get top 4 at the end of the season, I don't want to see fans going out there and blaming Rangnick. I really don't want to see fans going out there and blaming Rangnick. We need to be blaming the board for not investing in the CDM. Because at the end of the day, the board could have signed a CDM in summer and they didn't. So, if we do mess up top 4, let's not be going at Rangnick. Let's be going at the board, guys. Let's be going at a board. Fred is not a 6. Him alone is bad. He's not as good as 6 in a pair. No, yeah, I know Fred's not a 6. I've just put him there for the sake of a 4-3-3. I do agree. And as Noah says, guys, please do like and subscribe. It absolutely costs nothing to subscribe to Alice Talks Football. So please do subscribe to the channel if you do want to stay up to date with daily Manchester United content and all of that. If we get Zakaria, I'd love to see Zakaria CDM, Scott box to box, and Bruno as a 10. That'll be interesting. But guys, yeah, please do subscribe, because we are favourites to sign Kamara. We are in talks to sign Kamara. If there's any updates on Kamara to Manchester United, if there's any updates on people leaving and people joining Manchester United, of course I'll be glad to update you guys. So if you do want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news and more, do make sure you subscribe to the channel, because lots and lots to discuss as well. Manchester United's Brighton game has been rescheduled, and that will be in February as well. It's Glazers, not Man United. Yeah, it's Glazers the problem. It's go. Smash a like on the video if Glazers are the problem at Manchester United, because I think the Glazers are the problem at Man United. And what program am I using for this? Chosen 11 and all of that. But look, smash a like if you want the Glazers gone. I can't stand the Glazers. But I've got a couple of things to talk about and all of that. Man United letting Martial go. Man United going to let Donny go. But Man United are being funny about letting Lingard go, because we're trying to get some more money for him. Obviously, Donny van de Beek's close to Crystal Palace move. Romano's confirmed that. And also, Hannibal Mejbri smashing up at AFCON will be interesting. But I want to talk about something I mentioned earlier. I think Ralf Rangnick is really trying to clear out the squad, and I think he will try and do that this summer. But how would you guys feel down below about Herrera's 6-month loan? Herrera, PSG are willing to sell Herrera, but Herrera will only leave PSG for Man United is the case. Would you take Ander Herrera back? Could you see Man United doing a 6-month loan deal for Herrera? I think it'll be interesting. It'll be something unexpected, but I think, with the pressure of Manchester United having to sign a midfielder, especially because we might not get top 4, we could potentially see something going on with, Herrera back to Man United. And, I'd like Herrera to come back to Man United. Kessie would be my ideal signing, Showcart Khan, as well. I would love us to go for Frank Kessie. I think he's such a brilliant player. I think he's better than Kamara. I think he's better than a lot of the players we've been linked to. I think out of all the players that are going to be free agents in the summer, I think Frank Kessie is the best. And, I'd absolutely love it if Manchester United went for Kessie. Guys, smash a like on the video if you want Manchester United to go to Kessie. Any news on Man United updating the stadium? Not on me. And yes, Herrera back on loan. I mean, look, I think Herrera back on loan would be a decent move. I think it'll be a bit embarrassing because we got rid of him. We're getting him back, but I think he's better than McTominay and Fred. The thing is as well, we've got Pogba, and we could go back to that Pogba, Herrera, Bruno. Imagine Pogba, Herrera, Bruno midfield 3. That'd be nice. Because Herrera is defensively better than McFred. I know Herrera's not a CDM. I know he can't really play as a 6, but Pogba, Herrera, Bruno. Like, how would you feel about that as a front 3? Let me get back on my screen. Herrera just does a slightly deeper role. Herrera, Pogba, Bruno. Like, I'd absolutely love to see something like this at Man United. I don't know how you guys would feel about that, but I think that would be very, very nice. I think that would be very, very nice as well. Luis Diaz Alice, don't really know too much about him to comment on him if I was going to be all honest with you as well. Also, guys, do you think it's right that we're telling Lingard do you think it's right that we're telling Newcastle that we value Lingard at 50 million? Because obviously Sean Longstaff was 50 million. Newcastle, when we wanted Sean Longstaff, said you can have him for 50 million. We're saying, Lingard's valued at 50 million. Is that right of Manchester United to do that? Or should it just be, United stop being a dick and let Lingard go. What is your sort of stance on that? But I will say, guys, just over a week till the Premier League returns. I hate this winter break. It's absolutely killing me. I cannot wait till football is back. But Manchester United have a pretty nice fixture list to go pretty comfortable in the top 4 race, which I want to get on my screen here. So let me get Manchester United up on my screen here. Let me get to this. So we've got Middlesbrough in the FA Cup, but we've got Burnley, Southampton, Brighton and Leeds. Burnley, Southampton, Brighton, Leeds, Watford is our next 5 games. If we get 15 points from our next 5 games, we could be in a pretty comfortable position in terms of top 4. Then obviously we have Manchester City, which will be a tough game. Spurs will be a massive, massive game in the race for top 4. This game on the 12th of March could be one of our biggest games of the season. And then we got Liverpool after that. Then we got Leicester. Then we got Everton. Then we got Norwich. Then we got Arsenal on the 23rd of April. It could be an absolutely massive game. Brentford, Brighton. Then we got Chelsea on the 22nd, on the 15th of May. And then on the 22nd of May, we've got Crystal Palace, final game of the season, where Donny's going to send us back to Europa League. No, I'm joking. He's not going to do that because he's not going to play against us. But we've got 5 winnable games coming up. I think we need to get 15 points. When we get 15 points, we can go on a run. And I always said with Man United, I think our only hope of getting top 4 this season is we can go on a winning streak. We can go on a run. We can get a run of wins. I think that is our chance of getting top 4. I think with Arsenal looking good, with Spurs looking good, we just have to get a run going. And under Ollie, we had that big good run of 15 games for 2 seasons in a row. We need to go on like a 15-game unbeaten streak under Ralf Rangnick. Can they give Ralf Rangnick that new manager bounce? For me, that is what we could do to maybe get top 4. Matthew says that Herrera loves the club, understands the fan, is a top-class player. Yes, to his return on loan. That's how I feel as well. And I think Herrera is also a very, very good player to have in the dressing room. I think Man United have got a lot of dressing room issues as well. So I think, again, with that, Herrera. How do you guys feel about Bruno GUIMIRAES going to Newcastle? Now, Bruno GUIMIRAES was linked to Manchester United last night. I didn't think there was much in it, but I did talk about that in yesterday's video. Bruno GUIMIRAES is very, very close, if not basically joining Newcastle United. He's a CDM. You know, Manchester United and Arsenal were both interested in Bruno GUIMIRAES, but we wouldn't pay the money for him. Newcastle were going to pay the money for him and got him. This is an example of Man United and Arsenal having crap owners not wanting to spend their money on a player that they need, and Newcastle going, you know what, we've got an opportunity here, we're going to sign a good player. Newcastle United signed a very, very good player, and it really, really frustrates me that Man United let that happen. You know, Man United have let that happen because we should be signing a player like Bruno GUIMIRAES. We need to see him. He's a good player. He's an absolutely brilliant player, and it frustrates me that we weren't even in the race. Well, we were interested, but we weren't even in the race. We were barely even challenging Newcastle for Bruno GUIMIRAES, and I just thought, you know, I was a bit silly. You know, I don't know loads about him. Maybe he's a bit overpriced, but you know, he is 40 million. If we can pay that, then we can pay for 3 young midfielders, which collectively cost around that. You know, maybe Bruno GUIMIRAES isn't the perfect answer, but I think Bruno GUIMIRAES is a great player, and I think, you know, we're able to get him in January. A season that we're able to get in January, that is good. That a lot of teams want Bruno GUIMIRAES, and you know, I think Manchester United missed out on one not signing Bruno GUIMIRAES. Guys, if you have not already, please do go and subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football. It costs absolutely nothing to subscribe to this channel. And if you do want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates, and more, please make sure you are subscribed to Alice Talks Football for daily Manchester United news. We have 4 days left till the deadline, till January transfer deadline. Manchester United in a rush to bring in a midfielder as we look to sell 3 players in January. Will Manchester United bring in a midfielder? We've apparently opened talks with KAMARA. We have favourites to sign KAMARA. We're interested in KAMARA. Could something happen with Man United signing KAMARA in these next 4 days? Well, if you want to find out if something happens, make sure you subscribe, because as soon as there's any relevant updates on KAMARA, as soon as we look like we're about to sign someone, I'll be live. If we're about to sign someone, if we sign someone, I'll be live. So do make sure you subscribe if you do want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news and all of that. Andrew says regarding Ander Herrera that he wasn't happy with the board based on how he was treated at the end of his contract. As much as he loves the club, I'm not sure he would come back. And Herrera is another example of the board treating him badly. And Andrew makes a really, really good comment there. Bronter says we need a defensive midfielder who is experienced, has strength, great decision-making, aggression, and is capable of playing 90 minutes without a problem. For me, it's Brozovic. I don't know loads about Brozovic, but who would your ideal CDM be? Actually, just tell me below, who's your ideal CDM? I'm still sticking with Tchouaméni for mine, but who would be your ideal CDM? Now, I think if Rice was 40, 50 million, I'd say Rice. but he's just too expensive, so I'm going with Tchouaméni. So let me know your ideal CDM down below. It'd be really interesting to see who you guys want to bring in. S16 says, do you think Rangnick's word would matter if he makes a demand for a new young midfielder if Donny goes out for the next 5 days, because it will show his influence? He will be an advisor for 2 years. I just think, you know, Rangnick's going to be an advisor, but I don't think the board will listen to Ralf Rangnick. I don't think the board are going to buy anyone. If the board were going to listen to Ralf Rangnick, they wouldn't have let Julian Alvarez go to Man City, and we would have signed HERRERA. Ralf Rangnick wanted Man United to get Julian Alvarez and HERRERA in January. Man United probably ain't going to get none of them. Ralf Rangnick wants Man United to buy the right players as well. Hopefully Man United listen to him. Hans says that he's from Luian. Bruno GUIMIRAES isn't a 6, mostly an 8, but with great pressing ability. Ooh, interesting. So he's not an out-and-out CDM, but he'd probably be a player that'd be good under Rangnick. GUIMIRAES Brozovic is another one we should be linked to, says Dave. How do you guys feel about Brozovic? How do you feel about CDMs? Let me know down below. Alice by herself could do a better job than the board. My mum could probably do a better job than the board. They're absolutely useless, but thanks for that, guys. I mean, they are. Come on. Our board said no to Haaland and yes to Ighalo. We spent the same amount of money on Ighalo as we could have brought Haaland in for. We could have, in January 2 years ago, brought in Haaland and Bruno Fernandes. Instead, we got Ighalo over Haaland because Ed Woodward didn't want to pay the agent's fee to Mino Raiola. That is how stupid Man United are. Ighalo or Haaland. That is absolutely freaking mad. That is absolutely mad, isn't it? Marco Verratti, I mean, he's not a CDM, but I would take him at United to improve that midfield. I mean, look, I'm basically, you know, whenever someone names a midfielder, I'm like, oh, I'll take them at United because, you know, unfortunately, nearly every midfielder in the Premier League is better than the midfielders we have. So I hate the fact that whenever someone mentions a CDM, I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll get them. You know, that's the situation we're in. That is the situation we're in at United. We're just absolutely desperate for a CDM. Glazers suck. Yes, Glazers do suck. Smash a like on the video if you agree that Glazers suck. Do you think Man United will manage to get under HERRERA? I'd be shocked if it happens. I'd be absolutely shocked. If we're willing to pay for an overpriced Rice, I'd rather go after Kimmich no matter how much it costs. Yeah, I mean, Kimmich is a better player than Rice. We won't get Kimmich. Would I take Perisic? No. I would take Tielemans as a Pogba replacement. Tchouaméni and Tielemans to replace Pogba and Matic. Yes, please. Would be absolutely lovely. But my standards for the Man United next transfer window aren't particularly high. I mean, like, guys, have you got high standards for the Man United in the summer? Like, I believe we'll sign a CDM in the summer, but I don't have particularly high standards. I'm prepared to be disappointed. This is the thing. I know we had a really, really good summer transfer window last year, even though we didn't sign a CDM. I'm honestly prepared to be disappointed come summer, come the transfer window. Like, that's just how I feel about the situation. We should have got Neves. Don't know why Aston Villa transfer guys are better than us. Yeah, we should be going for Ruben Neves. It infuriates me that we're not going for Ruben Neves. We should have gone for him in the summer, but you know what? It is what it is. Now, it's come out from a guy called Simon Dobson. Now, I don't know if this Simon Dobson guy is reliable, so take this with a pinch of salt because I'm not familiar with Simon Dobson. He said right now the Manchester United board is negotiating with Marseille to find a fee, and that he says Manchester United are currently in direct contact for Boubacar Kamara. Now, the source Simon Dobson has said right now Manchester United are in direct contact for Boubacar Kamara. Now, I don't know how reliable this source is, but he says that we are negotiating a fee with Marseille and direct contact. And I think negotiating a fee and direct contact for me, that is a good sign. That is a good sign that something could happen. The problem is you don't know the source, so could they just be making it up? But it has been coming out all today that we are the favourites to sign Kamara, and that a deal could be going on. And I think with Donny going to Palace, with us letting Martial go, Kamara is more and more likely. What I will do is, guys, I will actually let me get the source up on my screen. Let me get the source up on my screen. But Manchester United apparently are interested in getting Kamara. So what I want to do is I want to stop screen for a second. I want to share this, guys, with you. And if you know who this journalist is and you're aware of him, let me know. Because I don't know how reliable he is. I don't know what the comments saying. The source is a trust me, bro. The source is probably a trust me, bro source. But look, that is what's come out. But again, take this with a pinch of salt because we don't particularly know the source. We don't know if this guy's reliable. But, you know, I think if anything's going to happen, there is indications towards Kamara to Man United if anything's going to happen. I don't feel confident that something's going to happen, but have a feeling that something could happen. If that sounds weird, because people ask me, Alice, do you think someone's going to sign Man United in January? And the honest question is, I don't know. Because as Man United, you know what we're like. I don't have confidence that we're going to sign anyone. But then I'm also like, you know what? With us getting rid of 3 players, with the amount of midfielders available, with the pressure on the ball, with top 4 not being nailed on, how can we not sign someone? That's how I feel about the whole sort of situation right now. I do feel like United could potentially sign someone. Nice knowing you said that United seem like they're not going in for Zakaria now, and it's Bayern Dortmund's race for Zakaria. That is the case. I will be shocked if we sign Zakaria. I think he's staying in Germany. I also think they need to look into signing players from South America. Like City, they just signed Alvarez from River Plate. And this is a really good comment from Nice Knowing You, because Rangnick wanted Alvarez, and he's gone to Manchester City. Which is a bit, it's annoying, and I think Alvarez is going to be a baller at Manchester City, and I think we're just going to sit here disappointed. I think we're going to sit here really, really disappointed that, you know, when we see Alvarez balling up in the Premier League in a couple of years' time, we're going to be going, Ralf Rangnick tried to get the board to sign them for 15 million, and they said no. You know, this sounds bad, but I almost want Alvarez to be a flop so it feels bad. You know, a player that Ralf Rangnick told the board to buy that City have gone and brought, I just want it to be a flop now. As bad as that sounds, just so I feel a bit better about it, because I think he's going to be an absolute baller. You know, and, you know, in 4 years' time, when, you know, Herrera is brilliant and Alvarez is brilliant and we haven't signed them, we're going, if only they listened to Rangnick that January. I feel like that's going to be the case. I hope it's not, but I feel like that's going to be the case. Hit that like button if you hate the Glazers, guys. Yes, if you are Glazers out, smash that like button. And Gaz just brought up something that I was going to bring up the stream, but I forgot. The Martial looks happy already from being away from United. And look, it makes me feel really, really sad, because Martial's got a lot of abuse from fans. You can criticise Martial, but you shouldn't abuse him. And this minute he leaves Man United, he's smiling. Martial looks so happy he's left. It makes me sad. I mean, he's got to be happy he's going to a new club and playing, but it makes me sad how happy he looks and smiling now he's left. Like, because some fans really made him feel unappreciated, and some people at this club really made him feel unappreciated, and I don't think he was treated well. But I do wish Martial all the best in Sevilla. Essa16 says, I don't know why, but I feel we are going to get a midfielder in the next 5 days. It's a PR spin because no big reporter has reported anything, and it's just getting our expectation up. I kind of agree with you. If Fabrizio Romano says something, if the Athletic say something, if Simon Stone says something, if Di Marzio says something, I'm like, oh shit, something's going to happen. But when sources like Simon Dobson that I'm not aware of is saying something's going to happen, I don't know what to believe or not. You know, if it's Romano, if it's the Athletic, I'm like, shit, we're going to do something, guys, and I'll be live right away. You know, when stories like this come out, I don't always go live straight away, because what's the point in going live when you don't know the source? But if the Athletic say a deal is close for a player, I'm live straight away. If Simon Stone says a deal is close for a player, I'm live straight away. Same with Fabrizio Romano. But we don't know with these other sources, you know, how to take them. Like, I'd like to see us get KAMARA. I mean, I don't think he is the ideal CDM. I don't think he's the finished product, but I think we need a CDM. But I agree, you do have to take some of these stories with a pinch of coat. I can't believe this is real Herrera. Look, Herrera, there's rumours of Man United taking Herrera back on loan for 6 months. But again, I would be shocked if we did get Herrera. Sure, we have to replace Mata and Cavani, so I believe they're working on a big deal. Let's wait and see. This is the thing. Mata's going, Matic is going, Pogba's going, Cavani's going, Martial's going, Donny's going, Bailly's probably going. Ronaldo might not go if we don't get top 4. Henderson is going. You know, we've got about 10 players leaving Manchester United in 2022, and I think it's crazy that we're not even we've not brought anyone in yet, because there's so many players that are going to leave Manchester United. Honestly. Do you know what? Actually, talking to Martial, Sevilla are only 3 points from the top of La Liga. I'd love Martial to win Sevilla the La Liga. Anyone else? I put this on Twitter. I was like, anyone else like kind of supporting Sevilla in La Liga now because Martial's there? That's how I feel. I'm kind of like, come on, Sevilla. I'm like proper supporting Sevilla now in La Liga because I want to see Martial absolutely bowling. Matata United says, have you smashed that like button, guys? Yes. Have any of you guys smashed that like button? Because you got to. And by the way, guys, if you are new, please do smash and subscribe to Alice Talks Football. I do live streams pretty much every evening talking about all the latest Manchester United transfer news, updates, and more. So if you do want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, and more, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If we get anything from Fabrizio Romano, the Athletic, about KAMARA, anything super reliable and anything super close, I'll be live right away to update you guys. If it looks like we're going to sign a player, I'll be live. If we do sign a player, I'll be live. So do subscribe if you want to stay up to date with all the latest news. I expect in the next 24 hours we're going to get an update on the Donny van de Beek loan situation. There is a chance that Donny to Crystal Palace could fall through. There's definitely a chance that it could fall through. It's United. We're bad at doing deals. We don't let players leave. We're bad at negotiating. We know how bad United are at negotiating. We're saying we're trying to get Newcastle to basically give us 15 million for Jesse Lingard when he's going to leave for free in the summer. We know how awful Man United are at negotiating. So we could fall through the Donny move. But I would expect in the next 24 hours to get here we go for Donny to Crystal Palace, like we've got a here we go for Martial to Sevilla. And hopefully we will get a here we go from Fabrizio Romano, that's CDM to Man United. And I will say this, why are we not linked to Frank Kessie? Kessie is a free agent in the summer. He supports Man United. He absolutely balled past our midfield in the Europa League last season. Why are we not even looking at Frank Kessie when you've got three midfielders going, when he's a good player? Like, why aren't you not even looking at him? Again, that is something I feel regarding Kessie. I think it's a fantastic player, and I'm kind of shocked that United aren't looking at him. Gaz said, I'd love to see what goes on our boardroom. I would love Amazon to do a series on Man United. You know what Amazon did with Arsenal? You know what they did with Spurs? I'd love Amazon to do one of their series of Man United and actually film what's going on in the boardroom, because I generally believe the boardroom at Manchester United must be like, I reckon they sit in the boardroom and they go, have you watched any of United's games in the last couple of months? No. All right, well, none of us have watched us play in the last few months, and then the board go, all right, let's have a look at the results. So we've got a win, 1-0 versus Norwich. We must have been good. We weren't good that game, but the board will think it's good. They'll probably look over our results. I haven't watched any of those games. They'll probably go on SofaScore, look for player rates, go, oh, McTominay's got an 8 on player ratings versus Norwich according to SofaScore. He must be good. And they go, all right, well, let's look at top 4. Oh, you know what? Top 4, not particularly close. That's probably what they go, and they go, can Matic, McTominay, and Fred gets top 4? Do we need to spend some money? Oh, could we just? Well, we got Ronaldo up top. I think Ronaldo can carry them. Yeah, we don't want to spend any money. Yeah, decision made. We're not signing in on January. Sorry, RANGNICK. Fuck off. That is probably what goes on in the boardroom. If I was going to be honest, I think that's something that goes on in the Man United boardroom. But we don't know what goes on in the Man United boardroom. But I can't imagine it being the most intellectual place of football knowledge, considering the decisions we've made. Brandon Williams earns more than Trent Alexander-Arnold a week. What? Do you know what I mean? Other decisions: Zagallo over Haaland, paying over 150 million for Dan James, Harry Maguire, and Wan-Bissaka. The Man United boardroom. So can't imagine it's going to be the most smartest, intelligent place in the world. But guys, we will be ending today's live stream here. Thank you everybody for tuning into today's live stream. If you haven't already, smash a like on the video, and of course subscribe if you're new. If there's any updates that come out tomorrow, I'll be live, and if I can't go live, there'll be a video, but I'll definitely be live Friday night. I do watch-alongs to every Man United game when football's back on. I do match reactions, I do match previews, but I also do news shows. So make sure you subscribe to stay up to date with the news and all of that. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, share. See you next time. Bye, Z.